Hey everybody, Nick Espinosa, your chief security fanatic here. Don't forget to subscribe. But today we're talking about an AI company called Perplexity because they, quite frankly, want to be worse than I think Google and Facebook combined. And wow, I mean, talk about missing the mark about where the zeitgeist is going in society, but this is absolutely nuts. I'm going to give you my prediction, but here are the facts. And Julie Bort of TechCrunch had a really good write-up on this that I'm cribbing from. And if you didn't know before we dive in, like I said, they are a newer AI company. Think like an OpenAI, aka ChatGPT competitor to Anthropic and Google's Gemini and Copilot by Microsoft, and on and on. They're in that space. Now, here's what's happening. Because Perplexity doesn't just want to compete with a Google, they want to be the Google, the 800-pound gorilla in the tech room. Now, their CEO, Aravind Srinivas, basically said this past week on a podcast that one reason why Perplexity is building its own web browser, like to compete with the Chromes of the world, is to collect data on everything that you do outside of the use of their app. So if you're using the Perplexity app, they want you coming and going with a web browser as well. And they're doing this literally so they can sell premium ads. And I quote, "That's kind of one of the other reasons we wanted to build a browser is we want to get data even outside the app to better understand you. Because some of the prompts that people do in these AIs is purely work related. It's not like that's personal," end quote. And that is from their CEO. And yeah, I use the chat GPTs of the world to look up stuff for work that I can then validate somewhere else because remember, it hallucinates. I've talked about that. And so they're not getting a good snapshot of me. If you just thought I was, doing work prompts, I'd have a really boring life because that's the only thing that OpenAI knows about me or any one of the others that I've used, like Google, et cetera, et cetera. I've tried pretty much all of them, including the god-awful DeepSeek that nobody should use. And to that point, work-related queries are not going to help you, or rather them, build an accurate dossier on you. So to continue that quote by their CEO, on the other hand, what are the things you're buying? Which hotels are you going to? Which restaurants are you going to? What are you spending time browsing? Tells basically us so much more about you, end quote. And yeah, absolutely. You're going to go to things you like. You're into basketball or football or underwater basket weaving. Odds are you're going to be Googling those. You're going to have bookmarks for those. You're going to be going to websites for those. You're going to join social media groups. And they want the browser to data mine absolutely everything that you are doing so they understand just how much you love basketball or underwater basket weaving or whatever it is. Now, Srinivas also believes that Perplexity's browsers, the users, will be fine with tracking because the ads will be more relevant to you. So, you tell me if that's relevant. But okay, the browser, which they're naming Comet, for the record, suffered some setbacks, but is on track to be launched this May. Now, he's not wrong in this sense, because if you are basically looking at following users around on the internet, this is basically what made Google become a $2 trillion market cap company because they've been data mining us coming and going. We use Google search for flipping everything, and then they started dominating with a monopoly, which is why they're in court right now and the possibility of being broken up because they've got you on web browsing. They've got you on email correspondence. They've got you on pretty much everything else that they're doing. And they built a mobile operating system, aka Android, that they can potentially data mine as well. These are things that Google has done to quietly get all of this information to be the 800-pound gorilla in the room. Perplexity understands this, and so this is why they're going down essentially this road. That's basically why Google built the browser, the mobile operating system, your Gmail account, et cetera, et cetera. So Perplexity is essentially attempting to do something in the mobile world as well. It just signed a partnership with Motorola, basically mobile phone maker, and they announced that this past Thursday, where basically the Perplexity app will be pre-installed onto Razr phones from Motorola and can be accessed through Moto AI by simply typing Ask Perplexity. So Perplexity is also in talks with Samsung, according to Bloomberg. And while Srinivas didn't exactly confirm that, he did pretty much say that that's essentially what's happening, and they're looking at both partnerships. But I think this misses the mark. And the reason why this misses the mark is because I think we're now all waking up to just how badly we're being data mined. Perplexity is getting into this game way late when you're looking at more than 20 years of Google data mining us, 15 plus years on Facebook's deeply data mining us, and quite frankly, we're getting sick of it. Now, we accept a good chunk of it. The younger generation just understands that is what it is. But when you're looking at, let's say, older millennials, Gen X or older, we're not going to be adopting that. That said, Perplexity isn't necessarily building something for us. And so I think this is going to be an interesting shift and an interesting look. But I think as we have a more focus on privacy, especially in the era of data breaches, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to push back on this, and push back they should. So we'll see what happens here. But that is Perplexity. Perplexity, I think you're doing the wrong thing, but I also understand why you're doing it, and it ain't cool either way. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP. Well, you'll be data mined, but not as bad if you're in the Perplexity ecosystem, apparently. Same with YouTube, which is a Google product, so they know what you like to watch, and hopefully it's me. Also, Blue Sky and Mastodon, I'm sure they're data mining us as well in some way. And as always, stay safe, stay online, and please attempt to stay private and secure and informed. Take care.